Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts, Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge, and we have a special guest, Josie. Morning, Josie.
Morning.
Okay, you guys, is that like a fake Zoom background behind you?
What is this?
So we're in Tomahawk, Wisconsin right now, and we are just behind Lake Como.
Can we just talk about that reflection for a second?
Isn't the water just like glass this morning?
Yeah. Is it typically like that? Does it get wavy? What size lake are we looking at?
I have no idea. I should have looked that up before. I have no idea. It is a motorized lake, although it's not time yet. I think it starts at 10 a.m. They can use motorized boats.
Oh, cool.
A fishing boat might cruise through. You might see that. But I mean, we've been out here since I've been out since 7:30 this morning. So smooth and so beautiful. We've seen a bald eagle this morning flying across the water, so you might spot that. There's been little chippers in the background and birds, and every now and then we hear a frog croak.
So considering that this is live, we don't know what might happen behind you.
Anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So Josie, your mom shared a cool picture with me of you and a fish. So is this at Tomahawk Lake too?
Yes, this is.
What kind of fish was that?
That was a bluegill.
Nice. So what's your method when you fish? What are you using for bait? How are you doing it?
So we like to just use night crawlers and waxworms. And I just like to bobber fish. Sometimes I'll just like set down my rod and just kind of take in the view, but I mean, it's always
Can you tell she's not used to comments?
that just popped up there? Yeah.
So I mean, you can set your rod down, but it's still available for the fish?
Yes, it is. So sometimes like there's poles on the docks that I can just slip my rod in and then it'll just sit there. But no, we've been catching a lot of fish, a lot of bluegill and sunfish, but it's been really nice and really relaxing.
Very nice. Do you guys then eat the fish, or what happens? What's the disposition?
We haven't eaten the fish yet.
All catch and release. It's really just for recreation.
Yep.
Nice. Are bluegills the biggest thing that you would catch in that lake?
Bluegills and sunfish so far.
Okay. Crappie, smallmouth bass. We had a really little largemouth bass. Maybe not yesterday, the day before.
That was
so yeah,
Monday.
all different. The kids are just having a blast. I think Nora and my nephew Kaden fished almost the whole day the other day. And Nora was in her pajamas. She went out to the dock in the morning and she just stayed in those pajamas all day. And
that right there is the life, isn't it? Like
right?
Walking onto your dock in jammies, just fishing all day, like taking it easy. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what it should be. So, we're super blessed to be enjoying a week up here in northern Wisconsin. It's just unbelievable. Very peaceful.
Okay, hold up your Wisconsin map and give us an idea of where Tomahawk is.
You do it?
I don't know.
Okay. Door County, Green Bay. We're kind of right here. Maybe a little bit farther north.
Okay.
So not real far west yet, more up north. So think north of Wausau, south of Manitoba.
Eagle River, those things are still further north.
Correct. Okay. That's correct. Yep.
All right. And what else is happening in Tomahawk?
What did we do yesterday?
Yesterday we went to Minocqua and we just went around. We went to this awesome zoo and there were wild deer running around that you could pet and feed. It was really cool. And then we went shopping and then we went to a ski show yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, like a water ski show?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so a lot
of water ski, Josie?
Have you ever water skied?
I've tried to. I haven't gotten up very far. But that was like maybe 5 years ago.
Long time ago.
Kristin, do you water ski?
No, I have tried so many times. It is just not my jam. I think it takes just like there's something natural about it that it's kind of like hula hooping.
Are you good at hula hooping?
No. So
what? Oh yeah, I could walk around hula hooping and I used to love water skiing.
Okay, there we go. Is this hashtag amputee goals?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is an amputee that I follow. She's also a double amputee, and I just saw she posted a picture water skiing. So with
Nice.
super limbs attached, and she was just holding on one-handed. I don't know that I'd be that brave, right? Because at some point you have to let go, and then you're just there in the water. I suppose you'd have a life jacket on. It actually
Yeah.
just out.
I mean, there were guys yesterday. So we were on the Wisconsin River in Tomahawk watching their volunteer like ski team. They put on a show every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night during the summer, which is amazing. And it's free, super fun. And they were on skis, they were on some wakeboards. There was one guy that like sat on one. It had this like blade that went down and would like raise him up
It's a
out of the
foil.
water. What?
It's a foil.
A foil?
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
foil.
right. They were doing tricks and jumps. It was really cool.
That's cool. What exactly is a foil? Is that where there's like water pressure or something coming out and it raises you?
So the foil would be the bottom of the pole that is connected to the seat, which helps him elevate in the water.
Good description. Yeah, it's kind of like a flat thing. So when he would like angle it, it would catch water and like raise him up. And then there was a pole up here. And then his seat was actually like up on top, if that makes sense.
Wow.
They did
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was really fun.
So were you guys already up there for Father's Day?
We were.
And so is that what this picture is?
Yes. Father's Day, we kind of had a slow, relaxing morning and then went mini golfing and got ice cream. So here's a picture of Doug with the girls mini golfing on Sunday.
Nice. Josie, how did you do mini golfing?
Not very good. It was a really hard course, though.
It was a shorter course and it had some trickier spots in it. So we enjoyed kind of getting out and giving it a shot. And, it's always fun.
Nice. So do you feel like there's a lot of vacationers up there right now?
Not really.
We're a little bit outside. We're a little bit remote from Tomahawk. So we haven't seen a lot of people around here. The zoo was, I would say, busy, but not like crazy busy yesterday.
It was busy for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mm.
We had an incredible lunch yesterday afternoon in Minocqua at a place called the Boathouse. And we had a late lunch. It was like 3:30. So, and it wasn't too busy there. Maybe I think as the weekend comes, we'll probably see more people, up for a long weekend. But for now, we get to just enjoy this.
Hey, speaking of zoo, you guys, yesterday, Jason and I were on a drive and I was like, look out, there's a dead animal on the road. And he's like, I don't think that's dead. And so we actually went and did a U-turn and came back to take a look. And it was this little guy, like just slowly making his way down the road.
Oh
And
my
it made
God.
me realize you have to be so careful, right? You just never know.
Okay, Tina, for perspective, how big is this little turtle?
He's not that little. I mean, I could see him from a distance. So he's probably the size of a dinner plate.
Oh yeah, so big. It
Yeah.
must have been a snapper then.
I think so. He's got like sharp claws. If you
Oh,
look
yeah.
closely, yeah. Yeah, Jason said, if he didn't have those claws, I might have hopped out and offered to like scooch him to the side of the road. But
Yes. Yeah, snappers are nasty. I've seen them picked up a couple of different ways. I've seen someone pick them up like by the outside of the shell, but with their hands farther back so that their mouth can't get at them. And then when we once saw somebody pick one up by the tail and like hold it upside down so that they couldn't, so it couldn't snap at them.
Yeah,
so it's not like a gecko where it will release the tail. Like you're not at risk of it dropping
No.
off. Okay.
I don't know. Not that I'm aware of anyway. How about that?
the only thing that people say is like if you're gonna walk a turtle back, don't put it back to the same side it was coming from because it's just gonna cross again. You want to put it to the side that it was going to.
Josie, such good advice.
You heard it right here, folks.
I just recently learned that from somebody. I don't know.
I feel like we have our own wildlife advisor, Kristin. This is amazing.
We sure do. We
Josie,
just had
that's what we love on this show is sharing knowledge with each other.
That's right. We had a chipper run underneath our feet just a second ago. So if you guys both saw us go like this, a chipmunk ran right underneath my feet.
I'm impressed that you didn't scream.
I just wiggled my feet a little bit to scare it off.
I don't think it knew that we were like alive or something. I don't know. Because as soon as she moved, it like ran away. But
Oh, interesting. So you're being kind of still. Okay. Well, hey, so tell me, Josie, it looks like this is you and a team.
So that is my cousin in the middle. And then that is one of our, like, the whole Schneider side of our family. And my cousin in the middle, her name is Brooke, and she they were going to state for, I don't know what division.
Yep. What school does she go to?
She goes to Valders.
And what sport is that?
That is softball.
Oh, okay. So do you guys ever play softball together?
Not really.
No, Brooke and Grace have played together a couple of times on different teams. So Brooke goes to Valders High School, and they made it all the way to state this year, which is just an incredible feat. And here's kind of a fun fact. Mishicot, Denmark, and Valders all made it to state this year for fast pitch, which is just
What?
such a cool thing. So I want to give a shout out to all those high schools because that is not an easy thing. And it's so cool that so many went from our county.
Yeah.
So
What do you
we
think it is in our county? Do you think it's the brats or what?
something in the water. It's the Lake Michigan minerals, maybe.
Maybe. So who ended up winning state? Do you know?
Not Valders. They unfortunately lost in that game, but we just had an incredible opportunity. They get to play in the Badgers Fast Pitch Stadium for state. The WIAA state tournament is hosted in Madison at the girls sports complex. So Brooke got to play on that fast pitch field and just get the perspective of those players. And just, it was a super cool experience. So last Friday we went down to watch that game. And as you can see, but lots of members of her family on both sides cheering her on.
That's cool.
And something sad is that one of their main pitcher, who was gonna pitch the whole game,
It's okay.
couldn't come. So they brought up a freshman who pitched awesome for, I don't even know, but she did really good for just coming in.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. They did such a good job.
So do you think, is that something Brooke wants to continue doing? Like, would she go to college and keep playing?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
We'll see. She's a sophomore right now. They'll totally have another shot to go back to state. I think next year they've got a lot of, they only have 2 graduating seniors from Valders this year. So it'll be exciting to see how they do next season.
What do you mean? There's only 2 kids graduating or 2 softball players graduating?
2 seniors graduating from the team.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, only 2 graduating seniors from the team, meaning the majority of their softball team will be sticking around for another year.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Josie, do you think you would like to play there someday? Like if you had the chance?
Yeah, I would. I think that would be a good experience.
And how's horseback riding?
It's good. Really good. I didn't ride this week, obviously, because I'm here, but no, it's been really good.
When you go to lessons, are you always typically riding the same horse? Like, do you have a relationship with a horse or is it different every time?
I have had a couple relationships with a horse that I don't really ride anymore because I've moved up, but normally I get to see that horse a bunch because he stays in the outside pasture, so when normally he's on our way to school, so I get to see him every morning and every after school.
Your favorite one, right?
Yeah. I won my first place ribbon with him.
What? Awesome.
And he's really sweet. But the funny thing is, my last lesson that I had, I actually switched horses in the middle of the lesson, so that was nice. But
Who have you rode lately? Most recently? Trudy.
Trudy's a pretty nice horse,
right?
Yeah, Trudy's nice.
Hey, a number of years ago with my dad, I went see horseback riding in Florida, meaning we got on the horses and then it actually went out into the water and it was like up to the, like my legs and my waist were in the water. So just like the horse's head was out, it was such a cool experience. Do you think you'd ever try something like that if you could?
Yes, I really want to try one of those things. When we were in Punta Cana, we actually thought about going, but there weren't horses that were big enough to carry the parents. So what? So we couldn't go, but yeah, it was cool. But as we were going, we went on a boat and we saw the people along the shore riding the horses, which was really cool. But yeah, I would like to try that sometime.
Josie, I feel your pain. So my husband, Jason, he's a big guy, right? And anytime we would want to go horseback riding, it was always a challenge finding a horse for him.
Tina, was it hard to hold on to the horse when you were in the water?
It wasn't as bad as I thought. They were really well behaved and they moved pretty slow. So it was kind of amazing because it was hot and steamy in Florida and you're in the water. And yeah, it ended far too soon. I didn't want it to end.
So your dad did this with you?
Yeah.
How old was your dad when he was doing this adventure?
It was probably 10 years ago. So maybe 70.
Proof that you can do anything at any stage of life.
Yes, you can.
I
Yes.
love it.
There's
Okay.
so much we can do.
So your hubby there, Mr. Jason, has been painting in some competitions and doing really well. I think you have a picture to share today.
I do. So he painted in Cedarburg's plein air competition, and there were 160 artists. And out of that, only 12 get awards. And he got an honorable mention there. And then he went to Jefferson and he took Best in Show, which is huge, right? Like to be the number one. So huge accomplishment. Really proud of him.
Amazing. So what happens with that? If you get Best in Show, what happens with that painting?
Sometimes, depending on the competition, sometimes it includes like a purchase award where they'll buy it. That's not the case in this one. So hey, this painting. Oh, sorry, that's not the right thing. Oh, shit. Sorry, let me put it back up. This painting is available.
I love it. So he has that back in his home studio.
Yeah, he does. And Wendy says, congratulations, Jason. And Wendy also said, aging is not a disease. Active and engaged is always possible at any age, the ADRC way.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Wendy, I'm so glad you just messaged in because I wanted to tell everybody, Wendy and I had a really cool experience. I had a question, in my new condition, what is it like to ride the bus? Like I've seen the little ADA symbol, but I didn't know, what does that mean? And she wasn't exactly sure either. She said, let's find out together. So Wendy and I had this adventure where we got on the bus, we went to the transfer center, ended up downtown, rode the bus back, experienced, with a wheelchair, for example, when you roll on, they've got this automated machine that'll bring down these safety bars and like clamp the wheelchair in for safety. It was pretty smooth and much quicker than I was anticipating. The customer service was excellent. Like the bus drivers were so kind and so patient. We had a really good experience.
So I watched a video. I thought it was so cool. I mean, it looked easy. You made it look really easy. So hearing that it really is that easy is so cool. How empowered did you feel being able to go
I
and
felt
do
like
that?
it really opened up a lot of possibilities. So, right now I'm fully dependent on somebody transporting me. And I'm so glad that Jason is dedicated, Zeke is dedicated to doing that. But like the thought that, hey, I could take a bus and get anywhere around town is pretty amazing.
Especially if you're going somewhere where it is accessible. So, whatever, a store, a hardware store, most of those types of places are accessible, or your a favorite restaurant that, is accessible. Like, what a cool thing for you to have and find more independence.
We did stop and we got some refreshments at Wrap It Up. And I just have to share this picture of Randy in his t-shirt because I love the t-shirt design, how they have the Wrap It Up in the center and co-branded with Collectivo. And when I complimented him on it, he said Kiara Crowley helped him come up with this design because Collectivo had apparently pretty strict brand standards. And so they don't often co-brand with somebody else. And so I just love how this whole thing turned out. And I thought it was a cool shout out for Kiara.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing opportunity for him. And Collectivo coffee is so delicious and roasted right in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in case you didn't know that.
Right.
So, and just a little shout out, you can purchase Collectivo coffee by the pound at Wrap It Up also, if you're looking to grind it at home.
Speaking of coffee, I've got this picture. It's not meant to be any kind of an ad for Starbucks. It's just that it was a Starbucks coffee cup. I learned this week that being an amputee, you can use 50 to 80% more energy moving around than an able-bodied person. And hearing that, I was like, no wonder I am always so tired. No wonder when I do something, I need a nap.
What do you think it is? Is it like the mind to prosthesis connection? Like what is it that causes that
I think
energy
part of it,
exertion?
a small part of it is mental, but the major part of it is the body function that it takes to move the prosthetic. It's
Mm,
moving this weighted thing that your body's not used to. Even though my body once
yes.
had a leg there that probably weighed about the same, it's just the mechanics and everything are different. You have to swing your hips differently to get it to move. I know I was shocked when I found out that it was that much more.
Right. Well, and I just remember you saying even though they weigh about the same, just it feels so heavy just because of the muscle atrophy, right? So, is that something that gets better with time?
I had the great fortune to talk with peer support this week, which was amazing. I
Oh, I
highly
love
recommend it. No matter what
yeah.
situation you're in, viewers, if there's an opportunity for peer support, do it, embrace it. She is a very similar situation to mine. She's 8 years in, and she said no, she still gets exhausted.
Yeah, so it's real. The
Yeah,
struggle
which
is real.
explains this photo. What's funny about the photo, not funny, but you can see the big purple patch on the back of my leg. That's the graft donor
Yes.
site. So that's where they took like a layer of my skin and then um, surgically attached it to seal up the leg wound.
Right. So that is still healing, I'm guessing, right? That's a
Yep.
phase of
And it gets
healing?
really purple like that after I've been walking. So anytime I've done something with the leg, like my whole leg is like purple, flushed with blood flow.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's just working and rejuvenating itself, and what's the timeline, if you even know, for a graft site like that to be totally
They said I
healed?
have to like keep it out of the sun and keep applying moisturizer for a year.
Okay. Wow, which is similar, I think, to like a burn or something like that when somebody
Mhm.
has,
Yeah.
skin
Now
damage.
that it's at least healed essentially, I can sit on it and everything again. For like a month, it was so
Ugh.
sensitive. I had a hard time even just sitting. By the way, Cindy said, there are so many things I take for granted in navigating. Thanks for enlightening me to be grateful for all my abilities, and kudos to you for never giving up and being adventurous. I love your determination. Oh, Cindy, thank you.
Yeah, that's Aunt Sydney. Yeah. Tina, are you normally a napper?
I can nap. Yeah, if I'm tired. I mean, I do believe like if your body is telling you I need a nap, do it. And so I
Yeah.
am capable of taking a nap anywhere. I know some people need
Are
very
you?
specific like environmental considerations, but I can nap in a car, I can
Yeah,
nap on a train.
just wherever. We talked about this recently because, some people just seem to have a natural tendency to be able to kind of fall asleep. And somebody we were with was actually saying her father-in-law can like sleep anywhere. Like he fell asleep on a plane before takeoff and slept through takeoff and stuff. And so she was joking about that. I'm not a napper. I don't like, I get up for the day and I just go and like, I either have to be sick or I have to be really tired. Something really has to be going on for me to fall asleep. And, but Doug loves a good, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon nap.
I
Yeah.
How about you?
It's I don't really like to nap, but if I come home from school and I'm like sick or something, then I'll probably go up and take a nap or something. But no, I really don't like
Yeah, at
taking
your age, I
naps.
never would have taken a nap either, Josie. This is like an adult onset thing. But I just read an article,
But
something about taking an afternoon nap can positively impact longevity, maybe by like 6.5 years.
Interesting. I mean, especially if you're not sleeping a full night of sleep at night, right? I mean, there's a lot of European countries that take a siesta in the afternoon, right? They take a lunch, they nap, and they're out of the office for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon, and then they go back into the office at like 4 o'clock and work 3 more hours in the
Yeah, I think
evening.
of myself kind of like my cell phone, right? Like, gotta charge those batteries. I have to charge these batteries.
That's right. That's what we're trying to do this week up here, right?
So,
Yeah.
what about this, Josie? Are
Really
you reading books while you're up there recharging?
So this is when we signed up for the summer reading program, and that's Miss Sharon
Shout
from the
out to Miss
library.
Sharon.
Shout out to Miss. Yeah. And we were wearing matching bubble braids in our hair.
That's why we had to take this picture, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're signed up for the
Yeah.
summer reading program. Kristin, did you sign up too?
I did sign up. I'm more of a paper person, so I have my little coloring sheet to color in each day that I read. You guys got the same thing, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, did you bring books along?
Nope.
Did you bring books along, Kristin?
I have my Kindle along, and I've got like a quarter of Let Them remaining that I'm going to finish while I'm up here. And then I also brought another book along about it's about creating leaders from within the organization. I think it's called Multiplication. And one of my clients is reading it with their leadership team. And so I also brought that along maybe to get a
So
head
those
start on
sound
it.
work
But
heavy. Are you reading anything just for pleasure?
I am reading. Oh my gosh. See, I'm terrible. Every time we do this, I don't know the title of the book. So I finished The Moon Girls. We talked about that last week. I posted that. And then I started a different book. Oh, it's called When Crickets
Oh.
Cry. And it was available on maybe Kindle Unlimited.
Is that
for
the same author
free.
as Where the Crawdads Sing?
I don't believe so. I think it's different. Another great book if you haven't read it. Where the Crawdads Sing, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, that is a super good book. So I'm into it. Maybe a third, and I'm super curious. I don't know what's
but
going to
you're
happen.
motivated to keep going. Nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm every night before bed, or I go to bed and then I read. Sometimes for 2 minutes, sometimes for 20 minutes, but I love slowing down into sleep with reading. It just really relaxes my brain.
Hey, you guys, my little niece just turned 1, and look at her this picture just blows my mind. She just turned 1, and she's so cute. Anyway, they live in Madison, and so I got to go down and visit her, and the big accomplishment is that there are 6 steps to get into the house. So with my prosthetic leg and, like, with Jason on one side and my strong brother also on the other, I was able to go up those 6 steps. I could not have done it on my own, but it was a totally different experience than the last time where I kind of had to be manhandled into the house.
I do remember you talking about that, and what an incredible thing for you. Like, that's proof of your progress right there. How cool
I'm
did
feeling
that
really
feel?
hopeful. Like, oh, okay, that's a little more closer to normal, right? Like if I can keep building up my muscles and practicing this, like if I could do that on my own, I could go anywhere.
Yeah. Tell us how you do it, because I am, like, navigating steps on crutches is a different experience, or, with a knee brace, you have to do things. Tell us about
Yeah,
how you
so
do it.
I hadn't worked on it at therapy yet, so we were really nervous. We were just kind of testing this in the field, right? And so I tried it both ways. I tried leading with my good leg, and I tried leading with the prosthetic leg. And we determined really quickly I have to lead with the good leg and then get the prosthetic into place. And it's, one
Sure.
step at a time, both feet, one step at a time, then both feet. So it's not like a normal gait up steps this way. Um,
Yep. But you're doing it.
so there's hope. Made me feel hopeful.
Yeah. There is a lot of hope. Holy cow. Yeah, that is really cool. Okay, so your niece, is she standing and
She
walking?
started taking a few steps, but that's not her comfort zone yet. But the fact that she was just standing there also blew my mind.
She looks pretty proud of
She's
herself.
so energetic. She like I just put this picture up. Like when you ask her how big, she's not just like so big. She's like so big, right? Like it's just like ah!
Yeah. Well, she's following her big sister too. So, those second born, they've got to
Yeah,
be
she
loud
is
and
loud
proud,
and proud.
right?
I love her.
Josie's a middle. She knows all about that, right? You got to make your own
Josie, how
way.
big?
Yep.
Where are you
I'm
in the
number
birth
one.
order? Ooh, you're
I'm the
the leader
alpha.
of the
Yep.
pack. No wonder we get along so well.
Are you the oldest too? Yeah.
Mhm. And I married an
So
oldest.
how does that work? Is that
Right?
I married a baby.
Most of the time, it works great until it doesn't.
Prevents arguments.
No, what's interesting about Doug and I is we are firstborn, I think both natural leaders, but I lead more with execution, like themes from a strength standpoint, and he leads more of like futuristic and relationship building. So even though we're both leaders, we kind of our approach is different and we actually balance each other out pretty well.
I love that.
Yeah.
So if one of you starts to, boss the other around, do you check each other or does that not happen?
Oh yeah, we check each other. Right? But check yourself before you wreck yourself.
So what's it like being a middle?
A little annoying sometimes.
What makes it annoying?
Well, one of the sisters bosses you around because she's older, and the other one, like if you do something, then you get in trouble for it when they're doing the same thing. But so it just gets a little bit annoying
It's interesting
sometimes.
that you're aware of that already. Like that almost seems like something you'd reflect on as an adult. Like looking back as a child, but to be in the midst of it and to know that, that's interesting.
I think the other thing that is interesting is, Grace is 15 and so she's kind of doing big kid stuff, but every now and then Josie gets to go do that. So then, Doug and I might say like, okay, the two bigs are going to go do this. And then Nora hangs back. And then sometimes Nora and Josie are gonna go do something because they're doing stuff with friends or school age, whatever. And so then it's like, okay, the two littles are gonna go do this, and then Grace is on her own, and Josie ends up swaying into both packs because she's kind of in the middle versus being firmly. So sometimes she's like a little,
And
and
so you
sometimes
kind
she's
of
a
get to do
big.
it all. That's cool.
Yeah, but sometimes it also gets a little bit like not confusing, but like we have a lot of friends in families that have one old and one young, and they go off and play. So then sometimes I just kind of get stuck in the middle hanging out with the parents. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's cool. And 2 days ago, me and Grace and my cousin Brooke, which was who was in the picture, we actually paddleboarded out to an island across the
Let's
lake.
see if we can get it. Can we get the island in there?
Oh no, it's blocked by the trees.
Oh,
but
shoot.
it's about right over there, and we got to go paddleboard out there, which was really
Very
fun.
cool. Well, you guys, I can't believe it, but like a half an hour has just evaporated like that. And I can tell where you are. You guys need to
No.
go and have fun and enjoy. And thank you for carving time out of your amazing getaway to spend time with me this morning.
We love you. Thank you for letting us go live from this
Teresa
gorgeous
says, love
place.
you, Josie. I love all the Odells.
Oh, you're so sweet, Teresa. We hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I'll be back in my home office, back to
All right,
business.
you guys have an
next week.
awesome time. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Our special guest today, Josie. Bye, guys.